Okay, I'm actually gonna turn autofocus back on. Start 25-minute. Okay. And look at that, you can see it's being affected on the thing there.
Hey, it's me affecting.
Okay. Ben
Marshall.
Ben
Marshall. Marshall. Marshall.
Ben
Marshall.
Ben.
Audience.
Hey, Eric. It's been a tumultuous 30 minutes.
That's true. Marshall's been running around. I offered my body for helping set up. I was like, you tell my body what to do and I will set it up. And Marshall didn't let me do anything. I just sat here like a big fat boy.
Well, you're not a big fat boy. You're a nice young man. I appreciate it. I just
Thank you.
Didn't have anything for you to do.
Yeah.
And it's a big mess. You know what I do want to do though is turn this camera around so I can see us.
Oh.
And I can see if we're in frame nice and everything. And that'll be a little cool inside baseball for everyone. You can see what's going on
It
here.
is recording. That's good.
Yeah, it is recording. Okay, and now it's all right.
Yeah. Look at this.
It's a good frame. Hey everybody, today we're using new equipment. We got the nice camera, we got the fancy microphones.
Yeah.
Sort of, it's a work in progress. Hopefully this sounds good.
I got a prescription for Adderall today.
You did?
I'm focused as hell.
Congrats.
Thank you.
I'm really proud of
So much new equipment today.
You know what?
What?
Have you already taken it?
Yeah.
Can I tell you something?
Yeah.
I specifically thought Ben is so focused right now. Earlier today.
Wow.
As I was setting up, I was like, Ben is dialed in.
Wow.
I'm not kidding you. I thought that in my.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, that's a compliment. Yeah. It's not even. I just feel like myself. You know.
Yeah.
Nice. That's nice to get the medication you need to be a human.
It's nice to get the medication you need.
Thank you. I should have said that. I should own that.
What?
Sometimes when I'm speaking, I say you instead of saying I.
Oh, something I was talking about me getting your medication.
You want some of my medication?
I got it already.
Got to be at least like $25 a pill. What do you think the street value of Adderall is?
7.
Value.
I think it's 7.
Street value? Like $15 a pill. You got $15 a pill?
I don't have any money.
I had insurance, so I hardly had to pay anything.
Have you seen the video? It was getting addicted to crack prank. Oh no, we watched that together.
Yes, I think yeah.
It's very good.
Yeah, that is a good prank.
Like, we need to get more. I don't think I'm addicted yet.
For the YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Subscribers.
Yeah, YouTube channel. You're right. I can sell the YouTube channel. It's very good. But welcome everyone to the official podcast that Great Scub Do, Cinema Lounge. It's a pretty good show. We're here to do it. And it's a good day today to do a show.
It's true. It's summertime. Summer
so
flick.
Hot outside.
Summer flick. Yeah, it's like freaking 98 degrees outside at this current moment. But yeah, I'm wearing shorts. And this room is kind of hot. Marshall was complaining earlier.
I get really mad about it. Are
you pretty sensitive to the temp usually?
I sweat. So yeah, in that way, yes. Yeah. So I'm this awful combination of I sweat really easily and I hate feeling grimy. So I shower a lot, Ben.
Oh, really? Are you serious? Like, I mean, what's your average? Like twice
in the summer, I like minimum twice a day.
Wow. How long?
40 minutes.
Are you serious? Good. Wow. I think we've actually done.
No, I don't know. That's made up.
No, you're a long shower though, aren't you?
No, not really. I mean, if I have time, then like maybe. But like when I'm taking a real shower and I have time, then I would probably take some time.
Yeah.
I typically don't when I'm taking a real shower. And then when I come home at night and I just want to rinse off, then I'm just rinsing off, and I'm not really thinking too much about it.
Got it.
So,
wow, that's good to know about you.
I'm here to teach you about me. That's why we're here.
I'm a pupil. I'm a student. I'm a student of the Marshall.
You're the pee hole.
What?
Well, I don't know. Hey, everybody, we're here talking about a movie today. Oh, but actually, we have tight news. It's like tight news. I can't believe it.
Hey! Given a tight news theme song. Did you ever actually put in the tight news theme song, or was it always just like...
It's always you.
Cool. Okay, that makes me feel good.
There hasn't been one yet.
Toy news. That's this week's.
We should get a DJ off of 5.
All right, I'm starting a 10-minute timer, Marshall.
Okay.
We're diving into this shib.
I have a lot of it. I have a lot of tight news.
Okay, I'm setting an actual timer so you can't go over, because there will be a little alarm that goes, okay, man. Everyone in the audience will know.
Okay, I hope it's not a copyright.
Okay, when the timer ends, we're going to be listening to Twinkle. There we go.
Okay.
Hopefully it's not copyrighted. Go!
All right. Craven trailer looks awful.
Craven trailer? Tell us more, Marshall.
The first trailer for Kraven, the movie about Sergei Kravenov from the Spider-Man universe, or specifically the what is it? The Sony Pictures universe of Marvel movies.
That's Morbius, that's Venom, that's all that shiz. Okay. Spum?
Sony Pictures universe of Marvel movies.
That sounds like it should be on Urban Dictionary for some liquid that comes out of my body.
Welcome to Spum, everyone. So in that, I need to talk about this quick. I hate it and it makes me mad. This is a Kraven. The Kraven is a Spider-Man villain. In the comics, he is a big game hunter who's like a evil guy.
That's a great.
And he kills every big game hunter.
Yeah, Cabela's
2099.
Cabela's big game hunter.
Bow, bang, bang, bang. That's how I say it. And in the movie, he's a big game hunter and he kills everything, and he has killed everything, and nothing is challenging to him anymore. So he sets his sights on the most dangerous prey, Spider-Man.
From Earth?
Yes.
Okay.
He's human. He's not meta-human. He's a regular guy. He's really good at hunting.
Okay.
And nothing challenges him anymore. So he goes and he decides, I'm going to kill Spider-Man because he's the next best thing.
Wow.
So what this movie seems to be about is some man named Kraven, played by Aaron Taylor Johnson, whose dad is Russell Crowe and is an assassin.
Yeah.
And they go hunting, and he gets attacked by a lion, and lion blood gets on him. And then he gets
his system or something.
And he gets lion.
He gets like Eye of the Tiger, Eye of the Lion.
And he's got like Beast from X-Men powers, and he can jump around and stuff, and he can smell really good or something.
See, now, okay, I feel like I wonder how many people out there are having a responsive view. I mean, I didn't know who Kraven was. I saw the trailer and I was like, oh, okay, like, cool, I guess. Yeah. Like, if he looks at violence,
and if you want to make it's rated R. If you want to make that movie, but it's not Kraven. It's just not. Yeah, I don't know why they keep doing this.
It was like there was like one line where it was like he uses animals to hunt his prey. So he had some weird like Aquaman communicate with Beast situation. But then it was also like, but also he's like really skilled at martial arts and he's like ripping people's throats out. And then there was another scene where he's like running off the walls exactly. So it's like, which of these things is he?
I don't know. None of it. He's none of those things. Kraven is none of those things. I mean, he's hand to hand. Other than that, like, he's with a knife.
You're right. It seems to me as though that could have been titled like John Wick Chapter 5 or something. Like, insert super violent choreography, fight scenes. Just give it a different title if you want.
It just seems stupid to me. What's my time?
The 6:51 left.
You're kidding me.
Yeah, you're good.
Marvel has the distribution rights back to Hulk, so now they can make a Hulk solo movie if they want to. That's why Hulk is on Disney Plus now. Moving on. A new Toy Story movie is being made, and Buzz and Woody are both returning.
What? Again? Yeah, again with the Buzz and the Woody? How many cliffhanger endings are we going to have that pull up my heartstrings and I think the gang is splitting up and then the gang's getting back together again?
I know.
What's with that?
Doesn't make sense.
I don't feel it anymore. Like, I got sad a couple times and now I don't care.
Toy Story 3 was a good conclusion.
Yeah.
And we all thought, why are they making a fourth one?
Yeah, right.
When Toy Story 4 came out, we were like, oh, that was actually pretty cool.
Right.
There's no way. Because Toy Story 3 was concluding Andy's story.
Yeah.
Toy Story 4 was concluding Woody's story.
Yeah.
But he's back?
Right. Well, maybe it's to what extent did they confirm?
That's all I know.
Like God voice of Woody, perhaps.
That's all I know.
What?
God Woody.
Woody?
I don't know.
Woody?
Tom Hanks? Would he do it?
Probably.
Colin Hanks?
Probably.
Chet Hanks?
Private Woody.
Chet Hanks is crazy.
So really, I don't know anything about the Hanks.
Weird dude.
Really?
Chet.
That's funny. I just saw Toy Story 1 today on TV. The animation was rough.
Yeah. It was the first ever animation.
You ever heard the story about how they almost lost all of it because like the computer crashed?
Yeah.
Yeah, and they had like somebody had it on like a freaking flash drive or something like that, or floppy disk. I don't remember. Anyway, I'm butchering the story. Keep talking. You got 5 minutes.
Bruce Timm, J.J. Abrams, and Matt Reeves say, and it's declared ambitions. Okay, so there's Batman. There's a Batman animated show that's like a sequel to Batman the Animated Series, and it's being described as Batman the Animated Series, but because it ran on a kids channel, he wasn't able to do mature stuff. So this is like what Bruce Timm would have done with the original series. So it's like adult and noir,
like
really
Invincible. Oh, no, what's the name of that comics?
Invincible.
Invincible? Oh, okay, cool. So they're gonna cuss in it?
They'll probably say piss or something, man.
What?
I know.
Cool.
That's
That sounds nice.
It does sound cool. I got to keep it moving. The first look at the live-action Avatar,
Oh,
The Last Airbender.
yeah.
You see those pictures?
Nope.
I'm gonna flash them up right here.
Marshall, stop
You can see this.
flashing
Look,
us.
here's the pictures. I
Flashing everybody.
made hyperlinks. There's Aang.
Oh,
You can see him up above us.
that's cool.
There's Katara.
Oh,
People are not happy about Katara and Sokka because they are a lot more light-skinned than,
wow.
which if you compare it to the way they look in the cartoon, that's very valid. But also, I think it's just these pictures.
Are they supposed to be kind of Inuit-y? Or are these?
They are, but they're also darker
Okay.
in the show. The actress, I don't know about the guy, but the actress is darker in real life.
Little Mermaid was white in the cartoon, so
Yeah, it's a different situation, I think. We're not really too worried about mermaid
I
representation.
don't know these people's ethnicities.
Okay.
I don't freaking know.
So then,
Oh, cool.
Zuko looks amazing.
Yeah, that's just the costume. All these screenshots are nice. The costumes look good.
So I'm happy about that. It looks fine.
Looks cool.
It does. Look at that. I guess that's the South Water Nation. I can't remember which one.
I don't remember.
Whatever. Okay, so that's that. I hope you enjoyed that. Arnold Schwarzenegger on If He Will Retire. Action heroes don't retire. They just reload.
Does that mean that he's uploading his body into a computer?
Does
and
it?
They're gonna keep using him. Like which Terminator was it that he was all CGI'd?
Genesis?
Yeah.
No, Salvation.
I don't remember.
It was
It was put that screenshot up here, Marshall. It's creepy CGI on Arnold.
It's a young Arnold fighting.
Reload isn't like reload a
Like reloading a gun.
oh, not loading screen.
No,
Ring of Death for Rainbow Wheel.
no, it's not.
Cool.
They just reload. I'm going to reload into another movie.
Yeah.
You do it now.
I'm going to reload. I'm going to get on a chopper. Yeah, I'm going to reload.
So just say this. Just say this line.
I'm going to. Action heroes don't die. They just reload.
That's not one more time.
Action heroes don't die. Retire. They just reload.
All right, let's get a clean take of that. Ready?
Governor. Chopper. Action heroes don't retire. They just reload.
That was my. That's good.
Let's
That's
go.
good. We're gonna put that on your show reel. We're gonna get the roll.
Chopper helps.
You're gonna load it.
You got 2 minutes, bro.
Frick. Marvel distribution rights. Avatar.
That's the last one on your list.
No, I haven't.
Fine. Oh.
There's a Stan Lee biopic that just came out, and it's like in his own words is the idea. So it's from interviews from him.
Okay.
Jack Kirby's estate has responded to that, basically saying like Jack should be given a lot of the credit here. Do we really think that Stan? This is making noise. I hope that's not getting picked up. Do we really think that Stan created every single one of these characters single-handedly?
Right.
Like, no, he did not. And this has been a point of contention for a long time, is that like obviously Stan became the figurehead because he was the spokesperson. He was very charismatic, but behind the scenes you also have Steve Ditko, who co-created Spider-Man, and Doctor Strange, and Jack Kirby, who co-created Captain America and Black Panther. Some would say that he created Captain America and Black Panther, and not giving him that credit feels really weird. And oftentimes it's just given, we talk about Stan as though he created the entire Marvel universe single-handed in one fell swoop, and it's just not true.
Why is it that he got so much more of the press? And
He's the talking head.
Okay.
He's the businessman who can get out there. And I love Stan, and he did do a lot of where he wrote these books. But there's also something to be said about the way that Marvel books were written with the Marvel method, which was much more artist-driven, where it would be drawn. They would say, Stan would literally, this is the way it would work, is they would say, okay, artist, draw an entire book. And then Stan would like write the book after it was drawn. So like, at a certain point, who is writing these stories and who is creating these things? Like, there's not a collaborative effort really happening here. It's a weird thing.
So they're just afraid that the biopic will not be an accurate representation of how real life.
Oh, it came out, and that is their specific thing.
It's already out.
Yes.
Gotcha.
I could read their whole statement here, but it would take a long time.
Don't do it because you have 20 seconds.
It's very good.
The biopic or the statement?
The statement. This is the son of Jack Kirby. This is the final paragraph. He says, "My father retired from comic books in the early 1980s and of course passed away in 1994. Lee had over 35 years of uncontested publicity, much naturally with the backing and blessing of Marvel, as he boosted the Marvel brand as a side effect of boosting himself. The decades of Lee's self-promotion culminated with his cameo appearances in over 35 Marvel films, starting with X-Men in 2000. Well, technically, he was in the Trial of the Incredible Hulk for in the 70s, thus cementing his status as the creator of all things Marvel to an otherwise unknowing movie audience of millions unfamiliar with the true history of Marvel Comics. My father's first screen credit didn't appear until the closing crawl at the end of the film adaptation of Iron Man in 2008, after Stan Lee, Don Heck, and Larry Lieber. The battle for creators' rights has been around since the first inscribed Babylonian tablet. It's way past time to get this one chapter of literary art history right. Nuff said, which is a nice little dig because that's Stan's sign-off.
Wow.
I think there's a lot to say for that, and it's basically, when they first tweeted that, there was a lot of people being like, shut up, and then immediately now it's a lot of people being like, no, you're right. Yeah. Because it's people who actually know this stuff. And
interesting.
I saw a great, where is it? Someone was talking about a great Alan Moore quote.
Yeah, that's so interesting, the legacy of comic books with that, as opposed to I'm thinking Lord of the Rings, where Tolkien estate clearly has the power in that situation. It all goes back, for the most part, goes back to J.R.R. Tolkien. Yeah. One person created this world, and his son elaborated on it and such. But this just is totally different, creating these stories when different artists and authors and creators are all collaborating. That it's just comic books are such an interesting format for that. I mean, obviously with a movie or TV show, you kind of know that there's lots of people working in behind the scenes, but you don't always really know that with a comic book quite the same as you would.
I mean, every time I talk to people about it, no one has any clue that it takes minimum 4 people to make this book. Yeah, because you've got your writer, your penciler, who can sometimes be the inker as well, but usually that's a whole other separate person, so that's now 3. Yeah. Then there's a colorist, which could also be the same person, but is usually not, so that's 4. Yeah. And then you have your letterer. There is someone who puts the words on the page, and there are awards for that, because you have to be good at it. Wow. And that is 5 people, and that's not counting editors and the actual bullpen of people being creative and everything and working together. It is a whole collaborative process in a much more involved way than film can be. The grip is doing important things, and if we didn't have a grip on a film set, that would be a problem. But we have film credits, and that's there. The people aren't aware of that when you look at a movie, and that's the whole thing we could get into of comic book creators getting credit or not in movies. And DC's been really all about that since James Gunn took over, which is incredible. But I don't know. This is a great quote that I saw, then we can move on to the movie. This guy said, I think back to Alan Moore, who created Watchmen and V for Vendetta and The League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, lots of stuff that you'd recognize. Back to Alan Moore's response to a fan asking about Stan and your grandfather. The tweet is from the granddaughter. He said, there was really a reason why jolly Jack Kirby wasn't always jolly, why sturdy Steve Ditko wasn't always sturdy, and why smiling Stan Lee was always smiling. Yeah. I don't know. I don't want to say that Stan didn't do anything, because that's not true. But there needs to be more credit given. Tight news.
Pretty close.
Whatever. Well, everyone, that was Type News, and now we're going to transition into the real show, and we're going to talk about Batman 1989! Oh, I might have to try to I can do that with a Cinema Lounge logo, I bet. That'd be funny.
Or one of your edits of you as Batman or something. Is there a head from some other Batman?
I don't know. Who got edited? There's a couple Batman episodes. That was me. Because I did a Dark Knight one.
That you were Batman. Someone had a Batman mask. Me. That was you. Put that in there as a spinny.
Yeah, I will, dude.
Did you hit record again already?
Yes.
Oh, let's go.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the show. This is Marshall here to talk about Batman 1989. Ben, I suggested this movie.
Yeah, I hadn't seen it.
For a couple. Have you now seen it?
I've seen it.
Okay, that's good.
Yep, I've seen it.
Just clarifying.
Yeah, no, it's good. It's good. Great, dude. I can watch movies whenever I want. It's been good for me.
It's good.
Yeah. Thank you.
I suggested this movie for a couple reasons.
Yep.
Primarily, I do think this is a great movie. 2,
that's a requirement for these long form ones.
It is.
One of us has to like it.
Well, I think that I was wondering if this was maybe going to happen, and I don't.
What are you including? I haven't said anything yet.
Here's what's going to happen.
Okay.
That's one reason. The other reason is because The Flash is coming out, or has come out now, and I've seen it.
Yep.
And I won't say anything about it, except maybe I liked it.
Oh my gosh, you'd be like in the minority. Maybe.
I don't know. We'll get into it maybe next week, I think is the plan. But the Michael Keaton Batman, not necessarily the specific version, but a similar version is in the movie.
There was nearly more screen time in the trailer for Michael Keaton to Ezra Miller. I know that's not actually true, but like kind of true. You know, I mean, they had a lot of glorious shots of the Michael Keaton.
He's glorious.
Is he in the film predominantly? He's
a real chunk of it.
Is he?
He's like a secondary character, yeah.
Okay. I was curious about that. So anyway, so part of the reason was a little homework assignment for me, for you, for the listener. Maybe go watch Batman 1989 before you go see The Flash.
Yeah.
If you're going to go see The Flash, and apparently people aren't going to see The Flash.
Yeah, it's not making a lot of money. It's made like $60 million opening weekend, which is very low. It was only tracking for
bad combo of like
70-ish though.
Superhero burnout, people not loving DC superhero movies, and obviously all of the negative press around Ezra Miller.
I think it's better than it gets credit for at this point.
The movie?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Here's what I'll say though, is that we're here to talk about Batman 1989.
Marshall, I hope you have a lot of fun history things to tie in, because I've got a question for you.
I have some fun history things to tie in.
Great, okay.
So this was written by Sam Hamm, who wrote Batman and Batman Returns, Warren Scarron, who wrote Top Gun, Beverly Hills Cop 2, and Beetlejuice. Directed, also Tim Burton obviously had some input here. Tim Burton also directed it.
Some people refer to this as Tim Burton Batman, or even then like sometimes I hear that more often than 1989 Batman, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that's the way the general public would probably recognize it more. I see it as Batman 89.
Nice.
Just because in like the circles that I'm in, that's more what it's referred to as.
That makes sense.
But Tim Burton directed it, also directed, obviously, I mean, a lot of stuff that people have seen. Pee-wee's Big Adventure, Beetlejuice, Edward Scissorhands, Batman Returns, Ed Wood, Sleepy Hollow, Big Fish, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, just to name 100. Cinematography is by Roger Pratt, who did Brazil, The Fisher King, 12 Monkeys, Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets, and Goblet of Fire, and some other stuff. Score is Danny Elfman, who's fantastic. Did also Beetlejuice, Edward Scissorhands, Nightmare Before Christmas. He's kind of Tim Burton's guy. Also did the first Mission Impossible, Men in Black, I think all the Men in Black movies. Good Will Hunting. I did not know that. The Spider-Man 1 and 2, not Spider-Man 3. Nacho Libre, a lot of other stuff.
Yeah.
And then the soundtrack is by Prince.
Oh,
I don't know if you noticed.
Fun. I was wondering. It felt so familiar a couple of times.
Yeah.
That I was spoiler casting. There's a scene where they like danced into a jukebox and it's very goofy. I like so much. I was like, this is so familiar. This is a real thing. It was Prince.
Yeah. Well, he wrote I think all these songs are written for the movie.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. It felt like lyrically, I had the subtitles turned on.
I like it a lot.
Anyway.
Starring Michael Keaton as Batman, Bruce Wayne, Jack Nicholson as Jack Napier, the Joker, Kim Basinger as Vicky Vale, Michael Gough as Alfred, one of my favorite Alfreds, Robert Wool as Knox, the reporter, and that's kind of the main cast. It won Best Art Direction, well, deservedly. Won Best Art Direction against Driving Miss Daisy, Adventures of Baron Munchausen, The Abyss, and Glory. And Ben, I'll tell you something real cool.
What?
We've done it again.
We synced it up with something sweet?
The 30...
Oh, nice.
Where did I write this down?
We're awesome.
I wrote it down. Where did I write it down? The episode is releasing 2 days short of the 34th anniversary of the film's release.
Wow, no way. That's cool.
How do we do this?
Wait, say the anniversary one more time. It's
34th anniversary of the film.
34th.
It's the 30th anniversary of Batman Returns tomorrow.
Okay, wow. Summer movies.
Yeah.
There you go.
So that was kind of crazy. You have the synopsis, or you want me to read the synopsis?
No, I can read it, yeah. In a world. No, I'm just kidding. The Dark Knight of Gotham City begins his war on crime with his first major enemy being Jack Napier, a criminal who becomes the clownishly homicidal Joker. The key words in this overview is that it's beginning his war on crime. So it's a bit of an origin. It's kind of the very beginnings of the crime world is quaking in their boots, and this new bat thing is out on the town for the first time. So
yeah,
it's kind of anyway. So yeah.
Ben, that's the vital statistics.
That's it.
How do you feel about the movie?
No, how do I feel about the movie overall?
How do you feel about the movie?
You can't just start there.
All right, what do you think about it?
Wait, so
tell me something about the movie.
Where are you pulsing me right now?
I don't know. I was just gonna see how long I could hold this.
Is it strong? Do you feel it?
It's very weak.
Yeah. Anyway, this movie. How did I feel about it? It was very interesting to me. I realized how many of the Batman movies I haven't actually seen. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if I really care to go and see all of them. Honestly, it's kind of lower on my priorities. I'm usually the type of guy who gets really into seeing all of the things. And I overcommit to, I'm going to watch all the James Bond movies. I'm going to watch all the Batman movies. I'm going to watch all the whatever. So I'm not feeling super into that idea, which is interesting.
That's fine.
This movie feels to me like it's an interesting blend of, they're trying to tell it like a comic book story, but they're also trying to connect it with the world of cinema and like talented cast, you know what I'm saying? Like
very talented.
So yeah, that's a thought that I had, was that there's many moments where I was thinking this could totally be an animated feature film.
Yes.
Like I think it would maybe be better animated than it was live action.
Well, it's hard to talk about this movie without talking about Batman the Animated Series, which it very directly inspired.
Okay, really interesting. Yeah. Okay, that's cool. That how did it inspire? Just the.
I mean, the look, the vibe, everything about it. The marketing for this movie was crazy. Mm-hmm. Like it was like Star Wars level of merchandising insanity.
Yeah.
So
I was gonna.
You got to market to kids.
Speaking of marketing and merchandising, there's so much of this movie that feels like it is the pop culture Batman. Whether it's Batman's got all the gadgets and gizmos in this one.
Yeah.
The Joker is very silly, very all over the place,
very threatening.
Very maniacal, creepy, but also like just so goofy. What other things just feel classic Batman in this? Anyway, so much of it just feels like this is like the Batman story that if you know anything about Batman, this is what you know. He's rich, he's got gadgets. He fights the Joker.
And I think that there's a reason for that. And I think what you're subtly picking up on is a little bit of Seinfeld syndrome. Is that before this movie, the only major live action version of Batman that there had been was the 60s TV show and movie.
Got it.
With Adam West, which was wholly silly and ridiculous. So there wasn't really a great picture of Batman in the public eye. Like that's what Batman was to the public, was this silly campy guy who some days just can't get rid of a bomb.
Yeah.
Like that's what it was. And then you get Michael Uslan, I think he was a producer, who was a big comic book fan and he found out about a program at a university, I can't remember what university it was, that if you could come up with a curriculum that they found worthy, like it was supposed to be an atypical college course. And if you could come up with something that they thought was worthy, they would make it a fully college accredited course that you could teach. So he showed up and said, I want to teach a thing about comic books. And they were like, no, I don't think so. You can't, like he met with the leader of this school, the dean or whatever you want to call him, I don't know. And he was like, listen, you can't convince me no matter how hard you try that superheroes are some kind of modern mythology and new modern folklore. And like whatever. Like he talked about the Bible, or no, he said Superman. Superman is my favorite, and you can't convince me that Superman is some new version. Like I used to read those cartoon comic books all the time, and you're crazy. And he said, okay, you say Superman? Superman is your favorite? He says, yeah. Okay, are you familiar with the story of Moses? And he said, yeah. He said, okay, can you just explain the broad strokes of Moses to me? And he goes, yeah, well, Moses was born to two Hebrews, and the firstborns were being killed, so they got rid of him and sent him down the river, and he was taken in by a Egyptian family who raised him as their own, and he became a great leader. And he said, okay, that's good. Can you tell me the origin story of Superman? He said, oh, well, he was the Kryptonian, and his parents sent him from their planet, and he was raised by the Kents in Kansas as one of their own, and then he just stopped. It was like, your class is approved.
Got it. Whoa.
And that just set off a chain reaction of events of now Stan Lee called him and said, hey, like, this is interesting and I want to be involved in this and I want to know what's going on here, because if people are going to take comic books seriously, I think that's really awesome. And then different producers were getting involved in stuff, and he wanted to just really bad to make a Batman movie, because he saw the 60s TV series and how silly and goofy it was and thought that's not what Bob Kane and Bill Finger, more so if we're talking about creators again, man, Bob Kane did nothing. Bill Finger created Batman. Bill Finger should have been the one who had a brief cameo in this movie, not Bob Kane.
Whoa. Bob Kane had a cameo.
He did. He was the guy who drew the picture of the Batman for Knox in the Gotham Globe or whatever it's called. Basically, they started production for this movie in 1979.
Wow.
10 years.
That is really fascinating.
Yeah, that's 1 year after Superman 78 came out. So naturally people are thinking, well, what makes sense to go with Superman? We should make a Batman picture.
Yeah.
And then there was a lot of...
But totally stylistically different. Oh my gosh, yeah.
Completely.
Wow, interesting.
Yeah, so 10 years later, lots of development, how different directors, different producers, different tones completely. You find Tim Burton, you find Michael Keaton. That was a whole controversy in itself. People didn't like Mr. Mom cast as Batman.
Wow.
Like, he was a comedic actor. That's all he was. He was Beetlejuice.
Yeah.
That's all people knew him from.
Wow.
Except that he'd done one serious movie called, I think, Clean and Sober, like a few years before that.
Interesting.
And that was the main thing, and that's why he got this movie.
Wow, really?
Jock Nicholson, they had
up for the job
to convince him. Oh, I mean, probably every eligible male in Hollywood, just like, you know, any time they do stuff like this nowadays. Jack Nicholson was also very difficult to cast. There's a famous story that they had literally offered it to Robin Williams, and he was very eager to do it, but they had actually only done that as a ploy to get Jack Nicholson. So then Jack Nicholson signed on, and Robin Williams vowed to not work with Warner Brothers until they apologized to him.
Wow, what?
Yeah. Because, I mean, they gave him the role. It's really crazy. Kim Basinger also came in very late in the game, like last second. The Vicky Vale role was cast as Sean Young, who's in Blade Runner, which you haven't seen, but it's fine.
Yep.
Beautiful woman, would be great for the part and everything. Got in a horse riding accident, couldn't do it. Wow. Kim Basinger came in at literally the last second.
Oh, wow.
And then Michael Gow was amazing. Robert Wool is
apparently other Hollywood A-listers who were considered for the role of Batman included Mel Gibson, Kevin Costner, Charlie Sheen.
Oh,
that's like Young Guns.
89.
Yeah. Tom Selleck, Bill Murray.
Yeah, so there was briefly a comedic version of the movie that would have starred Bill Murray as Batman and Eddie Murphy as Robin.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Can you imagine that?
I'm glad it didn't happen, but
I kind of want it.
I'd watch an SNL sketch of it.
Right.
I wouldn't watch a 2-hour movie.
Oh, that's probably a good point. Anyway, so they were working on it for 10 years.
Yeah, and then it finally got made. Like, it was a long odyssey to get to that point, and it really... Like, we started out this long, winding conversation. This is what happens whenever we talk about Batman. What you brought up is that there's so many things in this movie that are quintessentially Batman.
Yeah, the Batarang.
I would argue that that's because this movie redefined the character in a lot of ways in the eyes of the public and established a lot of these things in the eyes of the public.
Gotcha.
The Batmobile and the black costume and the parents' death, even the scene of the parents mugging and everything, the look of Gotham being so big and cartoonish and Art Deco and Gothic.
Right.
Like, all of that pretty much comes from this. There's roots of that in the comic.
Yeah.
In a lot of ways.
There's many moments in this movie where you're not really sure what year it is. You're like, is it like gangsters of the 30s? Is this the 1970s? Is this...
Which Superman 78 kind of does a little bit, but not as deeply as this, where like the cars are old and everything. Right. Batman the Animated Series, the whole DCAU, the Justice League and Superman the Animated Series, Batman the Animated Series are steeped in that. And I love that, where they'll have like regular technology, but it's very Art Deco, and like Gotham is super Art Deco and Gothic, and then you see Metropolis and it's like some like utopia kind of place. It's very like, the designs of these things are really cool. I really, really like it. And man, I wrote several times in here, I love how over the top and cartoonish this city, this world looks.
Yeah.
It just fits this version of the character so well.
Yeah, like it somehow does pull it off as Jack Nicholson is running around in a purple suit, and you're like, oh, it kind of works. Like, this is weird.
Yeah.
Like, yeah,
When they walk into the museum and he presses the button on the boombox, and he starts doing the little like dance, it's so good.
Yeah.
And it works.
It's an interesting blend from the silly Joker of the Adam West, Adam West kind of style. You can see the inspiration there, combined with the maniacal, scary, which is interesting that you never really felt that before this point from in a visual medium. I mean, like outside of the comic books, you know, like that's interesting. That I mean, did Jack Nicholson get a lot of creative liberty with that, or like how much of the role did he make himself versus?
I think most of it was written on the page. Like he really, really liked it.
Huh.
He's talked many times about this being one of his favorite roles he's ever played.
Wow.
Like, and he's amazing in it. Every time I watch this movie, I forget how good Jack Nicholson is, because he's so uncompromisingly tasteless and creepy in the best way. Like, it's basically the same character as The Departed, except that he's the Joker. And he's got the laugh and the makeup and everything.
I'm the Joker, baby.
Yeah.
And that clip right here.
I don't know what that is.
What? You never seen that?
You'll have to send it to me.
Oh my god.
I've probably seen
it. There's a kid in like college auditioning for the role of the Joker, or like he sends in the audition tape, and it's the worst thing. He's like, you ever wonder how I got these scars? I'm the Joker, baby.
That's a beautiful.
Yeah, no, it's good. Yeah, well, you'll love it. You'll love it a lot.
That's really funny. Yeah, that's some of the history of the movie.
Yeah, that's really, really fascinating. Okay, yeah. So from the influence that it had on Batman from here on out, was pretty big. It sounds like
huge. Huh. Yeah, I mean, every comic book didn't necessarily follow in these footsteps. Like the movie, I don't want to say that the movie is what created the version of Batman we see today.
Yeah,
I think what the public knows, yes. But this movie was very inspired by the comics of the 80s.
Got it.
Like, the character didn't really get back to his darker roots until the comics of the mid to late 80s, like A Death in the Family, the death of Jason Todd, which is, like, brutal, and The Dark Knight Returns by Frank Miller, which is also very mature. Like, that is often that book specifically is usually credited with bringing Batman back to his darker roots, and this movie takes a lot of inspiration from that. But as well from like the early comics, like the way that the characters are portrayed, like it feels like an old Dick Tracy story or something, how cartoonishly staged everything is. Like I love how it feels like a cartoon. It feels like a comic book put on screen.
Yeah,
and
which is why that's what kicked off this whole conversation. If the viewer rewinds a while, is I said this would do really well as an animated movie.
Yes.
Take everything here, voiceovers, and animate it, and it would, to me, feel a bit more, not more believable. There's some of the stuff in the movie that's just really silly because it's a comic book. Like you're saying, it's telling the story as though it's like a comic book story, which to me fits a little bit better in an animated movie. Like I'm experiencing that.
Your suspension of disbelief is higher.
Exactly. Yeah.
See, that's why I like this live action, because I feel like that the silliness for me works better in live action, whereas if it was in an animated show, it would feel less silly.
And
like,
that's a good point. Okay, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Not that I have to agree with you or disagree with you, but I see that.
You have to agree.
I think there's just really funny moments. Like you can imagine, like if this happened in real life, there were so many moments that were around. It would be so funny, like as an SNL skit or something like that, like you were saying, where Batman shoots the grappling hook to the ceiling and then grapples up to the ceiling real slowly in a cloud of smoke, and then like if the scene continues for 30 seconds, all the police officers are still standing there looking at the ceiling, and he's just hanging there like, what's up, guys? Like, there's just like so many moments like that. That's like
slowly he moves sometimes. That one in particular always kind of makes me laugh.
Like smoke,
because like he throws the smoke thing down. It takes forever to smoke up. And then he starts flying up, and you can still just see him so clearly. Not hidden at all.
You're like, oh yeah. Also, like right before that, he looks to his right and sees cops, looks to his left and sees cops, and he's like, what do I do now?
Smoke.
Yeah.
It's very good.
Yeah, that's fine. So yeah, depending on what you want, the comic book silliness. If you get it, you get it. I guess if it makes you laugh, it makes you laugh.
Yeah. It does make me laugh, and I enjoy it.
That's good
in a good way. Yeah, but I think that it's very well written. The score is iconic. The music is incredible.
I think that is another piece of this to me that I'm not sure how I feel about. The score feels really big sometimes. Yep. Like it's not subtle at all. It's totally kind of an old-fashioned kind of score. It's not the old frickin' Hans Zimmer like endless slow tone. Yeah, exactly. It's like orchestral, old-fashioned kind of. Yeah, that's how I feel about it.
And I love that.
So like, which you don't see in other at least for me, I have not seen a Batman movie that has a score that's orchestral kind of like this. You know what I'm talking about? I haven't seen all of that. I haven't seen all of the like 80s, 90s Batmans.
Yeah.
But it feels so different than this. Like this just it almost dates the movie a little bit.
It's more. I mean, I like this better than
really.
Yeah, I think that it fits all the different ones have fit their version of the character. The one stuff fits his version of the character.
Yeah.
I would say like the Batman is very orchestral. The Bruce Wayne theme, especially in the Batman, is very orchestral. Like you get some incredible stuff in that movie's score, but this one is pretty definitively like when you think of the Batman theme song, it's the one from this movie.
Yeah, that theme is great.
When it comes Neil Hefti, old 60s TV show.
When the theme pops out in the film, it's great. It is a good blend of heroic but also powerful. You know what I'm saying? Like when it got back up.
What did I write about it here? I wrote something about it. General notes. The music is just incredible from the get-go. It has an air of mystery and excitement. It's like, I mean, that's very Danny Elfman, like the way that his stuff is put together. Like you can compare this to the scores for the Spider-Man movies that is very orchestral and feels extremely epic in nature and those final swings and stuff. You get that in this at the beginning of the movie. Like the opening is that incredible bow, 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 bow.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I really love it. And I love like the Joker kind of waltz that you get there. And then a lot of the music in the animated series done by Shirley Walker is very directly inspired by a lot of this stuff. The theme song is straight up just this theme song, but then the actual score is different. It's just, I really, really love it.
Yeah. What about it? Why did you choose it for the episode? Why do you love this movie? Yeah. Why this one as opposed to whatever else you could have picked for?
I think just because of the cultural impact of it. I think something I like about Letterboxd is that you can do your 1 to 5 rating of your objective quality, and then you can say, I like this. Or not. And I think that that's a really interesting metric to add into.
To be able to say 1 star, but I like it. Like a Sharknado or something like that.
Yeah, where like for this movie, I don't think it's the greatest movie I've ever seen.
Yeah.
I don't think it's the best shot movie. I think there's weird, goofy elements, like the weird, slow zoom up to the top of the screen, or just the slow fight scenes, the fact that he can't turn his neck and has to turn his whole body. Like weird stuff like that. It's very rough around the edges in a lot of ways that Batman Returns can clean up a lot of those things, but is also still very weird. But while I would, as a movie, probably put this on a Letterboxd score, like a 3 out of 5, I'm getting that like button immediately.
Yeah.
Like it just establishes so many things about the character in the canon, and while it does play fast and loose with some of the rules, like you can't tell me this Batman is not killing people. He's killed a few people in this movie.
Right.
Not super obviously, but those guys are dead.
Also, don't they say that somebody fell to their death recently at the very beginning of the movie? They're like, the guy fell to his death.
They did. I don't know if that was because of Batman. Like that guy killed himself, I think is the idea.
Woof. No blood in his body.
Yeah, it was all over the pavement.
Yeah.
That's such a good, I love those like very classic comic book gangster type, like, hey, we's not known for our sense of humor. You better give us all your money.
Yeah, I just search his pockets.
It's the freaking Bat.
Dude, I love that when they knock out Batman and he's on the ground. They're like, search his pockets, figure out who this guy is.
Yeah,
that's great.
It's so good. It is very, I like these anachronistic villains. But like that's why I chose this movie, is because I think it's very iconic in its own way, and I do really, really like it. The cinematography is gorgeous. We can talk about that for a second. Just visually, it's stunning throughout the entire thing. It is like continually a little rough around the edges, but just it is so. It's shot very noir. It's shot like an old film noir. And there's so many cool scenes, like when Jack shows up after becoming Joker and kills Grisham, and you just see his silhouette, and you can see just the vaguest impression of his pale face.
Yeah.
And it's so creepy.
Yeah.
But it's so cool. And then he steps into the light and takes the hat off.
Yeah.
It says, I'm like, what is it? I'm a lot happier now, or something like that.
Yeah, like is what do you say? It's like, I love that motivation for the Joker, that he's like, I died. Everyone thought I was dead, and now I'm free. Now I'm happy. Now I can smile.
Yeah.
It's
interesting.
I love that motivation. It's very an interesting take on it. Like, it was a therapy session for me. Now I've gone insane. But
yes, which is his way of being free, just being out of his mind.
Right. Yeah.
Is interesting. Like he was always this way, but now he doesn't have anything.
Where also
back.
Very clearly the Jack at the beginning of the movie is not the same Jack as that. Yeah. No. Yeah.
It's fascinating. That's one gorgeous shot earlier. Before that, the transformation scene with the doctor. So cool.
How in other parts of the canon is Joker the one who kills?
No, that is one of the, when I talked about them playing fast and loose with the rules, that's the main thing. That's like never been a thing.
Okay, because it's like a fairly large part of the plot.
Dude, there it is. And you know what's so funny about that? Is that there's an interview that Michael Keaton, he went on Letterman, and he straight up just said that. He just said it out loud.
He's like, Joker killed my parents.
Something like that. Well, Keaton, I think Letterman was like, so what's the deal? Like, what, the Joker like killed your parents or something? And he goes like, yeah, that's kind of the idea. And he was like, what? It's like, what? I'll put a short like clip here or something.
Whoa.
But it's just like, that's... And like the audience, he like looks, he's like, "Oh, I guess that maybe I shouldn't have said that part." And the audience is like, "Ah,
yeah, whoa, oh my god,
funny,
dude." Final question for me.
Yeah, your question.
How do you feel about Michael Keaton as Batman?
I think he's great as this weird, psychopathic, crazy man. Like, I think this is the most insane version of Batman. Like, this guy's broke.
Yeah,
like he's not broken in the way that like Chris Nolan's Batman is or Matt Reeves' Batman is. There is something that has broke in this guy. A switch has flipped in him.
Yeah.
Like there's something wrong with this man.
Got it.
Legitimately. But I really love him. I love his Bruce Wayne.
The terrifying... Batman feels very intimidating in this movie. Like the first scene when he's standing in the background and you know he's about to come and threaten these guys.
Or they shoot him and he falls down. They think he's dead. They walk away and you just get that shot of they're like looking past them and his shadow rising up.
Yeah. That and then absolutely crumpling the guy's chest when he kicked him through the door. Yeah, that's wild.
It's very good. I love his Bruce Wayne and how like continually aloof he is. He's just like so confused all the time.
Yeah, I love that scene. That scene where they're eating dinner at either end of the table, and like it doesn't let on to that at first. Like, and just a close up of both of them.
Yeah, it's a shot reverse shot.
Yeah, and then it cuts to the whole scene of them at either end of the table. And he's like, "Oh yeah, do you want to leave?" Yeah, like
she's like, "Do you like eating in here?" He goes, "I don't think I've ever been in this room."
Yeah, nice.
That's great.
Wow,
it's very entertaining.
What happened? Oh, our timer.
We're still good.
By how much?
We're still good. We're fine. 29:57. Good catch. Okay, 25. Start. I don't know. I gotta put it in my pocket. I couldn't hear the vibration or something.
The vibrations.
Okay.
Good vibrations.
We're back to it.
Yeah. So, box office 1989. Marshall, guess.
1989.
We're gonna go through the top 5.
Top 5 movies?
Top 5 movies of 1989. Guess the 5, and then I'll tell you the order.
Movies of 1989.
Actually, here, I'll give you the 5, and you tell me what order you think they were in.
Okay.
Here we go. In no particular order, Rain Man.
Oh.
Lethal Weapon 2.
Not as good.
Batman.
Oh.
Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade.
Oh.
Which is crazy to me that it was 1989. It feels like it should be older than that. And Honey.
It's almost the 90s.
Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
Oof. I think Batman was top grossing.
Correct. Nice work. With at least a little over 50 million more than the number 2 spot.
A little over 50 million more.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna say, because this is 1989. I'm assuming this is not adjusted for.
I'll read through the options one more time. Lethal Weapon 2, Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, Rain Man, Indiana Jones: The Last Crusade.
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna make a wild choice. I'm gonna say Lethal Weapon 2 is second.
Ooh, no, you're close.
Is it Last Crusade?
It is Last Crusade.
Okay.
Yep.
That was my instinct.
Lethal Weapon 2, number 3, Rain Man, number 4,
and then Honey,
I Shrunk the Kids, number 5. Yep.
I should have gone with my instincts. I would have said that.
You're good. Other notable movies from 1989: Ghostbusters 2, Dead Poets Society, Back to the Future Part 2, When Harry Met Sally, Turner and Hooch, Field of Dreams, Star Trek V: The Final Frontier, Major League, The Little Mermaid. That's about it. Roadhouse. Wow, so many movies.
Sometimes a lot of movies come out in the year.
Yeah, that's something you don't think too much about, I guess.
It's crazy how that happens.
Anyway, yeah.
How much money did it make?
$251 million.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
For 1989.
Yeah. That's crazy. I have no awareness for the pop culture of the year 1989. I'm assuming it must have been pretty big, pretty huge from a pop culture standpoint.
It would have to have been.
Number 1 in the box office.
People were not excited about Michael Keaton at first, but once they saw the first trailer, that's when everyone was on board. So apparently there was like lines around the block.
Wow.
To see the film.
Interesting.
I'm going to turn you sideways.
Yep. Sorry. Hey, Cameron. Continue.
You're good.
Yeah. That's cool.
What else do we have here? We talked about cinematography. We talked about performances. Jack Nicholson's great. Michael Keaton's great. I love Michael Gough as Alfred always. Robert Wool, I hate Knox. He makes me so frustrated. He's just annoying.
In a good way or a bad way? You're supposed to hate him, or you just hate him?
I don't know. Are you supposed to not like him?
I think so. That's fun.
He's just that kind of. What did I write here? General notes. Knox drives me a little crazy. The kind of guy who thinks he's hilarious, but is also super meek at the same time. He knows what he's talking about in every situation, and is completely clueless most of the time.
Can I say something really quick?
I wish you would.
Back to the box office.
I wish you would.
I just realized. So 1988, the top box office was Who Framed Roger Rabbit, which made $100 million less than Batman did in 1989. That's crazy. $100 million difference. It was $251 million versus $156 million.
When did Jaws come out?
I don't know. Way before that. 80. I'm gonna say 82.
No, Jaws was the late 70s. Because that was Spielberg's first big thing.
78. No, wait. Jaws 2 is 78. Jaws film. What?
75?
Jaws 75.
Wow. That's crazy. Because Jaws is like widely seen as the first blockbuster.
Summer blockbuster, yeah.
That's crazy. 1975.
Bust your block.
A lot of high fives this episode. We're just really into this episode.
What else did you have on the film? So the acting, you like the characters.
I think everyone's good. I think everyone's good, Ben. That's what I think.
That's what I think too. That's my theology, honestly.
Well,
everyone's good. That is my theology, and we can talk about it later.
That's interesting. We should talk about that later. General trivia: the last Batman, whatever. People hated Michael Keaton. Got that. Robin Williams already talked about that. We already talked about all these different things. Well, Ben, I don't know. I feel like we talked a pretty good
Batman from the 1989.
I think we did. The animated series is also very good. Should we move into the if this then that?
Yeah. If this then
that.
Oh, if you like Batman, so we always do. If you like Batman, then you should watch this. But why don't we? It could also be the reverse. If you like these other things, then you should watch Batman. I've never thought of it that way.
I mean, I guess it kind of works the same way. Because if we suggest something and you're aware of it, then you'd be like, oh, then
that's a good point. Okay, let it be known officially, the canon is that if this, then that goes both ways.
If this, then that, then
like me and Marshall. High five.
That was a worse high five than the last one.
That's probably good.
My if this, then that would be Batman the Animated Series, primarily. Like, that's the huge thing. It's so directly inspired by this, and it is better than this in most ways. That show is fantastic. There's animated movies based on that. That show spawned an entire animated universe.
And it's on Max.
It is on Max, the one to watch.
Cool.
As Jason Momoa says in the advertisement.
So good. So
the other thing I would suggest...
Jane says.
Oh, does she?
No, I'm just kidding.
Well, I guess because Magnolia is on there, isn't it? Ugh. The other things I would suggest would be Batman Returns, which is like this one, but it is much more Tim Burton. It is so much weirder.
Yeah.
But I really love it.
I'm not into that kind of movie. I don't know. Tim Burton, that style, just from what I've seen of it, the clips of it, I'm like, I don't know about
You should watch it. It's beautiful and
Really?
weird.
Okay. Weird movies are just hit or miss for me.
Get with it.
Is that a catchphrase? Is that a movie I should see?
Get with it.
All right.
Get with it, Ben.
With it. It's just in that anime. Oh, Tim Burton, Batman Returns.
Yeah.
Okay. What else?
Superman 78.
I'm gonna say Spider-Man, No Way Home, Homecoming, because what's his ass? What's his ass?
Tom Holland?
No, because Michael Keaton. Thank you. Yeah, I forgot his name. I totally ruined the whole.
Do you want to know a funny story about that?
Yeah.
Apparently, if they filmed fight scenes, Michael Keaton would regularly, when they got close up, whisper, "Batman" in Tom Holland's ear.
Really?
Yes.
That's so funny.
And he'd just make him break every single time. It's like, you gotta stop doing
That's
that, man.
great. That's great. I like Michael Keaton in that movie better than I like Michael Keaton in this Batman movie. I
would agree with that. I think that's probably...
He's also just, his acting career. What a great actor, really.
He is very...
More about Michael Keaton, honestly. I should say, I haven't seen The Foundry yet. I'd like to.
It's good.
Cool.
Not amazing, but it's good.
Sweet.
What was I going to say? I would also say the Sam Raimi Spider-Man movies. Like, they are like a very direct evolution of this movie, I would say.
Oh.
That and, like, if you take Superman 78 and Batman 89 and you put these things together, you kind of, and then add like 20, 30 years, you kind of get, or 12 years. Batman 89 came out in 1989.
Yeah.
And then Spider-Man was 2002.
Yeah.
13 years later, we got Spider-Man. That's crazy.
Time is nuts.
That's so weird. That seems so short.
Yeah.
But it feels like a very direct evolution of that, where it is like, that's another movie that's very much in a comic book world. It's very camp, put on screen. And I like it a lot. That's what I have to say about that, Ben.
Cool. It's this and that. It's this and that. Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's the show. All right, we talked about the Batman movie, and next week I think we're going to be talking about The Flash. You down?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, we're going to talk about The Flash next.
I still don't really want to go watch it, but I will.
I know. I think you'll enjoy it.
Okay.
It's not amazing.
Okay.
But it's fun.
Yeah. I got to find a time. Is it quiet enough for a kid to sleep through it?
Probably not.
It's dark in there, in the movie.
That's true.
Yeah, I'll take the kid with me. We'll see how it goes.
See what happens. That'll be a good story for the lounge.
Perfect. Okay, the loungers, get ready and taking the baby.
Get ready, loungers. But that'll be a good episode. We'll talk about it, and it'll be a party. I think the week after that, if we're going to do a full-size lounge again, we've been talking about Blade Runner.
Blade Runner, yeah. I saw that.
So, look at you.
Got turned on.
So we'll do that,
Yep.
and then maybe Indiana Jones after that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
Fun. That'd be really fun.
We're so organized.
Yes! We've reached the summit. East High Five has gotten worse.
It's getting so much worse.
We have peaked. The cinema lounge is organized as hell. There's the Marshall's on the social media. He's posting things on a schedule. It's great.
You can check it. You know what?
Tell your friends about it, because we're legit now. If you listened way back when it was bad, it wasn't bad. It was just different. To come back and listen, everybody.
Check us out.
We want to be influencers.
We want to. I want to be a podcaster.
Yeah.
I don't know what I want to be.
I don't either. I really don't.
But you know what, Ben? If that's what you're into,
that's what you're into.
You can check out.
Yeah. Tell the people, Marshall.
All of our stuff.
Tell camera A, Marshall. Look at the camera. Tell the people.
You can check it out on. You can check it out on social media. You can check us out on social media at Cinema Lounge Pod.
Look how blurry.
Instagram, on Facebook, on not Twitter, on TikTok. I've been posting on TikTok again. on Instagram again. If you want to know what the next episode of the show that's coming out is, guess what? I post a cool picture in the Discord and on Instagram every Saturday morning.
That's right.
Saying this is what's coming up next. Give you a little freaking time to prepare for the show. So you can check it out, you can see it, and that'll be really cool.
You're kind of getting a little jokery here.
Hop in the Discord. Hop in the Discord and talk to all of our friends. Talk to everybody who is in the show and learns about. I'm getting less Joker now that I'm trying to be Joker.
It's fine. It's good. Just land the plane.
You can hop into the Discord and we'll talk about movies and stuff. We talk about movies. We post about movies in there.
Yeah, I'm in voice chat every night at 7 p.m.
That could be true if we start doing that. I'm going to get back here now. But thanks again, everyone, for listening to the show. You can check us out on all social medias and stuff like that. It's pretty cool. The show's pretty cool. Share it with your friends. If you like our Batman episode, we also talked about The Dark Knight and The Batman previously. The Dark Knight trilogy, that is. As well as Superman 78. And there's been a lot of superhero episodes, so you can check them out.
Yeah.
It's going to be another superhero episode next week. And then after that, Harrison Ford.
Harrison Ford does it again.
In a sad, grungy city.
It might be awesome. What are you talking about? Blade Runner, not Indiana Jones. Sad, grungy city.
Wow, that's interesting.
What? Oh, Harrison Ford month. That's going to be in July.
Wow.
July is Harrison Ford month.
It's a Michael Keaton month.
Yep.
And then June is Michael Keaton month. And July is, I guess we're not every other week though now. We're every week.
Anyway, you need to get the idea.
Thanks everyone for listening to the show, for watching the show. We're all on the same side of the room now. Every time I show people a clip of the show, they're like, so where's Ben? Like, it's just a split screen. We're in the same room.
What?
Because
the clip is just maybe you talking or something?
Yeah, no, because it's when we're at the podcast desk and it's the split screen of the two. People think, so like, where's he then? It's like, we're not in the same room. In the same place. It's two rooms that have a different color on either side, but the same desk in the middle.
Correct.
Thanks everyone for listening. It's a pretty good show, I've decided. And come and check it out. Next week, we're going to talk about Flash. And it's going to be cool. We're going to go really fast. And it's going to be the Flash.
Will Marshall flash me? Tune in and find out. I'm Ben. Ben.
Oh, I've been Marshall.
I'm Ben. Ben.